Hello everyone. Tonight we'll be working on Module 2, Lesson 11. We are going to continue to multiply decimal fractions by multi-digit whole numbers. And we're going to use a strategy where we convert all of them to whole numbers, and then we reason about the placement of the decimal at the end. Our first problem will be 7 3/800 times 41. And what we want to do first is estimate by rounding to the greatest place. 7 3/800 we'll round to 7 because 3/10 is closer to 7 than it is to 8. So our first factor will be 7. And 41 will, of course, round to 40 because it's very close to 40. And 7 times 40, 7 times 4 is a basic fact that we should know. That's 28. And 40 is 10 times 4, so we have to multiply 10 times 28. And we get 280 as our estimate. So we're going to come back and look at this later, and it's going to help us decide where exactly to put the decimal point. Now I'm going to forget all about the decimal, and I'm just going to write 738 times 41. And this is, of course, 738 hundredths. And you can write the hundredths off to the side if it helps you. But I know that I'm going to use my estimate to help me place the decimal, so I won't bother doing that right now. I'm going to multiply by the part of my second factor that's in the ones place, and it is a 1. So this is really easy. 1 times 738 is 738. And then I'm going to move over to the next part of my factor, which is 40. And if you're doing this in the area model, this will be your second partial product. And I have to remember to put a 0 in the ones place because it's a 40, 4 tens, and 4 times 8 is 32, so I'll write my 32. 4 times 3 is 12, and I have to add in that 3, so now I have 15, and 4 times 7 is 28, and I have to add in this 1, so I'll have 29 total. And I'm going to add that all together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. 7 plus 5 is 12, and I've got a 1 to carry. 1 plus 9 is 10. I'll carry that 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So my answer is 30,258. But of course, that is not exactly the answer because I have to place my decimal. So I'm going to look over here, and my answer has to be close to 280 because that was my estimate. So if I put my decimal here, my answer is 3,025. That's a long ways away from 280, much too large. So I don't want my decimal there. And if I put it here, that's 302 and 58 hundredths. 302 is pretty close to 280. That seems like it would make sense. Let's see what happens if I put my decimal over here. Now my answer is only 30 and 258 thousandths. That's much too small. So I'm going to go back and put my decimal right here, 302 and 58 thousandths, because my estimate tells me that that is the best place for that decimal. All right, now it's your turn. You're going to multiply 8 26 hundredths times 12. So you can use the same process that I just went through. I would like you to estimate first. You're going to round both numbers to the greatest place and get your estimate, and you'll use that to help you figure out where the decimal goes when you get your final answer. All right, now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we are multiplying by two 3-digit factors. So first step again is rounding to the greatest place. Greatest place in this one is the ones place. So that will be 8 ones times, and the greatest place here is the hundreds place, and I have 100. And that's going to be pretty easy to multiply. 800 is my estimate. Now I'm going to forget about the decimals and take 826 and multiply it by 128 over here. 8 times 6 is 48, so I'll make a tiny 4 and put an 8 in the ones place. 8 times 2 is 16 tens, and I'm going to add that 4, so I have a total of 20 tens. And then 8 times 8 will be 64, and I have to add in that 2, so 66 hundredths. Now I'm going to move down, or move over, I should say, to the tens place here. Multiply by the tens, so I know I have to have 1 0. And 2 times 6 is 12. So I'll put a tiny 1 and a bigger 2. And 2 times 2 is 4, and I'm going to add in that 1, so I get a 5. And 2 times 8 is 16. It's kind of hard to read my 5. There, that's better. Now I will move on to the hundreds place, multiply by the hundreds place. And I know I will, since I'm multiplying by 100, I will have 2 zeros in my partial product. And 100 times 6 is 600. 100 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 8 is 8. That was a pretty easy one. Now I'm going to add everything together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 5 plus 6 will be 17. And I'll have a 1 to regroup and move the next place over. 1 plus 6 plus 6 plus 2 looks like 15. And again, I'll have a 10 to move over to the next place. 1 plus 1 plus 8 will be 10. So my answer is 105,728. But, of course, I'm not finished yet. I have not placed the decimal. My estimate was 800. So where do you think I should put that decimal in order to make my answer closest to 800? I can put it, I'm going to get rid of that comma because it's not going to go there. I could put it right here. So I have 1,057. Or I could put it right here. So I have 105. That's not very close to 800. I think the 1,057 is probably the closest. It's 4 digits, but 1,000 is not that much bigger than 800. So I'm going to say that my answer is 1,057 and 28 hundredths. Okay, it's your turn again. You're going to multiply 82 and 51 hundredths times 63. I'd like you to estimate first, and then use your estimate to help you place the decimal. Good luck, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.